I'm really looking forward to seeing your projects today. And I'm just intrigued, having had a very short introduction a few weeks ago when we did our photo analysis and those sorts of human-centered techniques, but I'm really interested to see what sort of outcomes you've been able to deliver. Particularly, and bear in mind that I understand it is quite difficult working remotely as a team. So congratulations on being able to achieve those outcomes. And I'll just give a very short review. And Neil, will I talk after each team has presented?
Sorry?
And Neil, should I just give a brief overview after each team has presented? Or do
that's
you want
okay.
To do
a very brief feedback immediately after would be nice.
Brilliant.
I may also mention that majority of them, there are some exceptions who have tried to do a mock-up or a prototype, but there are many groups who could not do that for various constraints. So we will live with that limitation and encourage all the groups which want to continue with the prototyping that they can continue their efforts even after the course ends tomorrow and send us the update whenever they have. And after a week, we will have a call again just to follow up if anybody has taken the ideas forward. Our purpose of summer school on inclusive innovation is that many problems that somehow do not get attention that they deserve get attention. More than that, all of you young scholars, we wish to recognize the spirit of Honeybee Network and try to empathize with the people whose needs have remained unmet for a very long time. So no matter which profession you join, no matter which career you pursue, we hope that the sensitivity that this program has generated will stay with you. It is possible that at some time, I or other colleagues may have been very critical of what you were doing. Intention was not to demotivate you. Intention was to be ruthless in criticism so that when you want to improve things, you will be able to do so. So criticism was in the spirit of constructive feedback to help you to do better than what you may have done. So please take that as in that spirit. So when can we start?
Yes, sir. First team is Super Device, Saddam Hussain R.
Okay, please start and keep the time control very strictly. Otherwise, the team which come later lose the time, and we don't want to make. Everybody should get equal time.
Yes, sir, sure.
Yeah, please.
Shall I start?
Yeah, start.
Yeah. Good morning to everyone. I'm Saddam Hussain. I'm a research scholar. I'm doing PhD program in mechanical engineering department at Indian Institute of Technology, Madras. So I would like to thank Srishti and Srishti team for arranging such a wonderful program. Like last 15 days, I learned very lot, like basic knowledge too, and how to make a prototype. So from that, I have got an idea. I'll share my slides once again. So
only five
yeah,
slides.
Yeah, sure, sir. I'll go very fast.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. We are not able to hear you, Saddam. Saddam, we can't hear you. Phone karo, Benu.
हाँ sir, एक second.
Saddam, we can't hear you. Can you hear us? We have lost connection, it seems. Yeah, Saddam, we lost connection. So if you wish to.
Yeah, hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. Okay.
Come to the point.
Yeah. These are the devices that are available in the market. You may be aware of this.
You have to present again. You have to present again. You have to share again.
Oh, my God. Can you see my
Yes,
presentation?
yes,
Sir?
we can
Yeah.
see. Yes.
Okay, I think some issues. Okay. These are the literature I mentioned, like nine patents, 9+, I mean, around 21 patents are available, 5 couple of journals are available, and then many things are available. This is like motorized and non-motorized devices also available for cleaning or sanitizing purpose. Then these are the devices that are available in the market. One is I'm here. I'm mentioning only for 11 devices. This is virus based, and this is also mobile vehicle based cleaning device. And this is, you may aware of this device, and this is also aware of this, because this is the most I mean efficiently they are using, because this is motorized. I mean, completely motorized, because you may aware of that. Like while cleaning the road, no, there are many debris will be there. The front end will be collecting the debris from the surface, and it will collected, and it will save some other, like.
Hello, sir. I also joined.
Oh, welcome, welcome, welcome. So
Yeah,
we have
yes,
we have started with the first presentation of device for collecting the waste,
Sure.
sweeping device. Is Saddam from IIT Madras.
Sure,
Yeah,
sir.
continue, Saddam. Saddam, we have a problem, so you will have to present now without the diagram if you cannot, because you come to the solution directly. Now, don't go into anything else.
Yeah. These are the design part. I made it. This is the
You lost
file brush.
your no. We have. Please send your presentation to Venu. All of you
Sir,
send your
I'll share it on
presentation.
behalf of a team.
Yeah, please present it, because he cannot present and we are not able to understand. So let presentations be mailed to you and we can start sharing. Come to the solution now. Come to the solution. Come to the solution. Next. Yes, go ahead now.
Yes, sir. I made, this is the design part I have done, and then I have done like fabrication model with like a demo model. These are the material I consume, and this is the wire brush and wheel. This is permanently fixed, and this is the framework, and this is the final. I mean, this is the front model, front cover,
Next slide.
Yeah, and this is the final model. I made it.
Hello.
And then coming, I'm showing both the design and the demo model. So I can show this. This is the small video I've taken. Like okay. So here I'm showing like a rough surface because I made it that wheel is like a smooth surface. So as you can see here, the waste are coming, and yeah, you can see this waste, right? This is the waste, and it will be collected, and with the help of this spring assisted mechanism, here I made it like dummy model. We need to pull this, and whatever waste collected on the tray, it will come and
Venu, next slide. Next. So now you can design model and demo model. So you can explain what is the key feature of
actually, what is the problem? We couldn't see my presentation, sir.
We are seeing your presentation. We are showing it.
Oh.
We are showing it from here. So we have come to the design model and demo model. The last slide, I think. Just summarize
design model, and this is design model and demo model. Whatever I made it, the same way I did, like with the thermocol and available materials.
Very good.
This is the spring assisted mechanism. This is actually this is the pens I collected during my PhD program. I done coursework. Same pens I used here. I got only two things, only wire brush and only two comb. That's all. This wheels, no, you may aware of the water can cap. That is the wheel. I made it. This spring assisted mechanism hand also made it with the help of that pin caps. This is the one.
Last slide.
Next one, yeah, last slide. This is the video I made it. So as you can see.
No, video. Will it work?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just click that video, madam. Not working, huh?
No, it's not working, but
No,
I'm
sir,
sure
it's
what
not
you have
working.
shown is that it is collecting this debris. Is that right?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, we understand.
Sir,
Yes.
if you, wait for a minute. I'll show that actually model. It may be not issues.
When you remove it, I think we have understood. So if you can't show, okay, you can show that.
This is the model actually. Here is, as you can see, this is the wheels like a cap I said, no? And then bottom I made it like, this is the wire brush with the help of comb I made it. And this is the cleaner. Like,
press on the picture, then you can see the enlarged. Everybody can press on the video, you will see the enlarged version. Okay.
I think some issues.
No, we are able to see. Very good. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Everybody understood.
I think this is the cleaner. I made it like
Yeah, we are able to
short
see.
page and short pages also is there. Wire brush also is there. So wire brush cleaner also is there. If something is stuck on the wire brush, it will be get cleaned here.
Very
Get
good.
removed here, and it will go on the tray. I can show here. This is the tray. I made it. This is the tray. And when I move this, no, actually I don't have materials. I supposed to give one small spring here. If I give it, and then when I pull it, it will move. Whatever waste will be here, and it will go here. And we need to remove. We need to collect like this shape. We'll get it.
Very nice.
Yeah. This
Good,
is the way.
good.
After collecting this, just we need to close one second, and then we can do many times.
So this is the improvement. This is a novel mechanism because dust cleaning mechanism in this form doesn't exist in any cleaner.
Yes.
So I think that's a very good effort. Chaku or Kate, any feedback?
Yes, sir. Very Saddam, very good from point of view of the CAD model, and then you made the like thermocol model. Keep it up. This is the best way to experience your product. We call it the externalized thinking process.
Yes,
and the mechanisms are good, and I think it's a good way of doing the work. And I like the way you picked up a comb and picked up all existing materials, and during this COVID time, how well you have made the model. That too, we call it a working mock-up, like a quick and dirty mock-up, which is very commendable. And I think it will surely work. There's hardly any thing I see which shows any difficulty in performance. Yeah, very good,
okay,
Saddam. All the best.
Thank you so much, sir.
Kate?
Sir, actually, I would like to thank you, sir, because I learned from your lecture only. Because I don't have material.
No.
I thought.
Kate, Saddam, just a minute. Let us hear from Kate.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello. Oh, Saddam, can you hear me?
Yes, madam. Yeah, yes,
excellent, excellent. Hello, nice to see you. I am very impressed with your project, particularly your prototype, because you've really explained it so clearly with your prototype, because you've made it the real size, right? So it really shows how you could sweep it. If you were to take this project a little bit further, some aspects you could include down the track might be things like if the handle is an adjustable length, so that for tall people or short people, they could use this product a little bit more easily.
Yes, madam. Yeah.
That would be a good thing to include. And maybe this is for sweeping in the streets?
Yes, madam. Yeah.
Yes. So even slightly larger wheels in case the road
Yeah,
is very
correct.
rough.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
some roads are dirt, some roads are bitumen, some are concrete, some are paved. Just to accommodate those, larger wheels will give you, and you might need some height adjustment for different terrain. But I think that what I really liked about your project most was that you looked at all the prior work, the mechanisms and the big trucks, and you've made a really frugal solution that saves, hopefully saves quite a bit of back-breaking work. So I think you've done really well. And the fact that you can clean the brush is a great innovation, because I can imagine that constantly bending over and trying to clear out that mechanism would be really difficult. And I think you've hit on one of the most complex part of that sweeping process. So great work, Saddam. Well done.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
And you did it by yourself, not a team, or this was by yourself?
Myself only, yeah.
Oh, well done. That is a lot of work in a very short period of time. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much. Hello?
Yeah, we are like, good.
Okay,
Yeah.
Saddam, thank you. Next one.
Thank you, Saddam.
Very
Thank
good.
you, madam. Thank you so much.
So Saddam, your next job is to make a working rig. You should make it work by you getting the exactly.
Definitely, I'll do that, sir. Definitely, because
Okay,
IIT completely closed. There is no provision to make.
I know.
Like,
but slowly, when time
model.
permits, maybe you could talk to local vendors and start building one rig, make it work, and then of course take it to.
And if you need any help, let us know. If you need any help, let us know.
In fact, we have even our Professor Gupta, can link you to our innovation center, where we have all the facilities in Ahmedabad which can build such type of projects. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Thank you, sir.
Next is low-cost toilet in Run of Kutch. Vedansh Dave.
Time ka thoda dhyan rakho. Venu, please give signal after 5 minutes or something.
Otherwise, we'll not be able to finish.
Otherwise, we will continue our discussion. So we should be reminded. Next one, please.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead. Yeah, good. Well.
First of all, thank you, Professor Anil, for allowing us to to be a part of SISTRI. And thank you, Professor Kate and Professor Chakravarti for coming us and for being a part of this whole program and teaching us our good points around all over that. So our approach is basically the integrated approach, how we can solve the problem of low cost sanitation system in Little Run of Kutch. So major issues what we found is like the water issue, toilet issue, and the fecal sludge management system. So these were the all problems which what we found, and the major one we found was related to women's and health, and they were the two major concern of us, how we can solve that issue and how we can make get something out of that which can help women to get a proper toilet. And second was the health issue, because they were not going for a proper sanitation, and because of the the fecal generation which was spreading all over the area nearby was the problem for them. So this was further distributed into the problem associated with it. And the major one which was more our main focus was overall solution what we wanted to come about was the social health issue. So what we can do, so we are being not able to do anything on offline, we have to do research online only and get the stuff done. So we think of us using the existing products itself and combine them to get a proper solution. So first most was the water availability. So what was water available for us? So maximum cases the water is not available for us. So what we have the solution? So we have a solution. Seawater to turn into a fresh water. So this is one of the technology which uses solar energy and convert the seawater into fresh water. Second is the water from the thin air. This is one of the most technology which has been recently used in many places. Third is the roof catchment, and fourth is the normal jheel like concept which was used in earlier era of India. So in all the problems, what we found that like there is some of the other cost related issues is there, which is most reliable when we found is the water from the thin air. So this can be used for getting water from the air, and we can utilize as a potable water. Second was the toilet solution. So we have all these 4 options in it, available all over in the world, which has been drawn and come into existence because of the Bill Gates Sanitation Foundation, which has given lots of ideas to come in. So we in all these things, all of them, we found like EcoSense was one of the most convenient one, which can be helpful to us. It uses 2 pit. So basically what it separates the toilet and the fecal in a different manner. So third was the structural problem. So for the structure, we thought like, why can't we make a tent like structure with the metal pegs and use it like this, and when it is required we can settle down on the cover, and over that we can hold it with the metal peg, and when there is some windy or it is not required, we can remove that, and that by simply unplugging it. And the material in case of this, and the material what we suggested to use is parachute fiber, which is basically a nylon, ripstop nylon, which is waterproof, fireproof, and has zero porosity of air and water. So, and the third in the case, solid. What about the toilet seats? We thought of like combining it with the fecal collection system, and it can be set using a plastic tank. And over that, there is a supporter which will allow fabricate the Indian toilet seat over it. So now comes the major problem, which is the fecal disposal. How we can dispose the fecal. So major what we have in our knowledge is that pit latrine, cartonnage, and safety tank, and aquaparis. So these are the different form. Every of this disposal property has a different.
Time. You have to be careful about time.
Okay, sir.
Now come to the final presentation.
So finally, what we suggested that we should have 3 different tanks. One should be collecting the gray water, which is the water used by washing the vegetables and or using like washing hands and all. And second chamber will be a fecal collection, and third will be the urine. The urine will be little down, will be more at the lower height compared to these 2, and all the water will be draining out to this urine collection part. Why I'm doing this? Because I want to separate the fecal. First of all, I want to separate the fecal and the water present in it, and it should be collected in the water pan, and which will be transferred to the urine pan. And so I'm mixing the gray water with the urine water to increase to neutralize the nitrogen content present here, and also to get remove the odor present in it. To decompose this fecal, we have used a coconut shells or cocoa pits with a combination of sawdust, and there's a mesh between which allows the water only to percolate down to the water collection pad. And all these things are then connected together, and it will settle down. All the fecal is decomposing with the time.
You have to stop now because it's already 15 minutes. So please, you have to summarize in one line now. Thank you.
So it's good. Okay, sir.
Yeah. Quick comments. Kate or Chaku, you have studied this well with one of your students doing such a great job. So, Chaku, any comment? Or
I
Kate,
can start. I can start.
Go ahead.
Praveen, such a comprehensive presentation, and I can see that a large part of this project was understanding how complex the problem is. So that we have the potable water, we have the toilet, we have the structure, and then we have dealing with the fecal matter, which makes the problem very, very huge and quite difficult to grasp which part of that problem, you should do your design challenge. Is it just the toilet? But you actually have to address all of those items. I guess I'm wondering, with the final solution, did you come to a final solution in what the actual toilet might look like? Or really you were still looking at which elements to include in that final proposal?
So, ma'am, we propose to have this as a design for the fecal collection and everything.
Mhm.
And
Yes, okay.
and this is the mess thing, which is like
Yes.
this is like we can open it when we are require it. Like it open. It's like small thing, and it can be turned
Yes.
into like this big thing. It's using
Yes.
a tent-like structure, and this is our structure basically of the toilet seat. Over below that, which is a fecal collection unit, which I'm showing in the next
Okay.
slide.
Yeah.
And
So
for the water thing, we have thought of like using the water air thing from the air itself, because there's
great.
no groundwater, there's no jheel, what we
No.
call it, and there's no rainfall also. So
Yes.
the only thing which we are left with, and we cannot convert the seawater even, because the density of the seawater is present there, which is like basically brine water, which is too high to convert into the process will be more expensive than the converting it using it from the thin air
Yes.
itself.
Okay. So I think what you have done really well is you've looked at the complexities of the technology that you need, and I say technology in a very simple way of dealing with the fecal matter. You've looked at technology in terms of building the structure, and you've looked at how to separate the urine and the fecal matter. So I think you've done really well on that part. I think for me, when I haven't seen your project before, next time you present it, you might want to just have a drawing that shows all the features in one slide.
Okay.
You know, of your final design outcome, because I can follow the story, but it's hard to evaluate the final design just from this. But I am very impressed with the way that you have tied all of these elements together to make a really strong proposal. So well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
I would, second Kate in this, because it's a very complex project, very difficult to handle, and the way, but at the same time, the local conditions have to be, also very carefully considered. Where, I really like the idea of using, brain water, because enough water is there, and nobody has done this, work of what does, if you do some, little, mixing of some natural ingredients, like, what you talked about in the brine water, maybe it could be used effectively for cleaning. I'm not very sure, but that was a good point you started with. And other than that, I think you could really look at how the because it's such a dry weather, like the water just evaporates within no time.
Evaporates, so like everything.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So how, you don't need too much of separation like the way we want in the. See, that's the reason you should learn what happens in villages and what happens in that type of site. So
Yes,
site conditions consider very effective, then you will be a good job. So and then like you can really consider how things can work out. Yeah. Okay then. Good. Congrats for taking such a tough project, and of course trying to make
Yes,
best results. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
We are through. Next.
Third is also low-cost toilet in Ranaf Kutch. It's Kunal Kumar, Richa Patil, Daita, and Shaurav Das.
Hello.
Hi.
Yes, sir. So we'd like to add on to that. We were working on that same project.
Mm-hmm.
So as Praveen identified the three main problems, that were the water problem and the toilet structure and the fecal management. So we focused on the water part, and we came up with some probable theoretical models which are existing, and we tried to build upon that. So first we thought of was the existing concept of water cone, which uses the evaporation and condensation of the brine water. But as you said, sir, we have to consider the site conditions, and we would like to test this theory out, like with how much area is required for this thing to be feasible. So, and the another suggestion that we came up with was the atmospheric water generators. So all the existing ones, they were using there's one atmospheric water generator in the Indian railway stations, but they use electricity, and they basically they require a liquid coolant and pumps and a lot of electricity to generate a decent amount of water. So there was this concept where they were using solar panel to power this fan, and the air will get funneled and compressed in the copper tube, and the whole system would be underground. So due to temperature difference between the ambient hot air, and then it will slowly cool down due to the temperature difference in underground. So we'll get some amount of water, and this was basically using renewables only. So we thought that there's this company Halcyon, which is using these Bernoulli's principle to increase the wind velocity. It claims to increase the wind velocity by 33%. So we thought that if we could scratch the solar panel and instead make use of the excellent wind conditions that are there in the Little Round Kutch, so we'll get more flow rate and Saurabh?
Yes, sir. Then instead of using normal high-speed fan, we could, if we use that kind of wind turbine, that could be beneficial. We are guessing this thing. And one more thing is the coil they are using, the heat exchanger coil. We can see that from the previous slide only, that the pitch length is very high. So as per the literatures and other documents, we have seen that the water is generated is very less of amount. So we are thinking about this particular shape, the vortex tunnel facility. And from literature, we have seen that the advantage of this kind of shape is to that the logarithmic mean temperature difference will be higher. So which results more temperature heat exchange will be more, and that's why the condensed water what we will get that will be more also. So we are not sure that whether how much that will be practically applicable or not, but we will. This is completely experimental, and we need to make some prototype, and we have to experiment. After that only we can establish what we are thinking. Otherwise, it is difficult. So this design, this change in modifications we are thinking of. That's it, sir.
Yeah, I think we're combining not using solar panels and just using physical equipment is a very good idea, and
Yes,
if it can work. And I think the geometry what you created, you need to cover the top if the air has to take pressure inside. So you have to
Yes,
work
sir.
out that maybe the vortex, that angle also may not work. Remember the image which you showed? The angles are very different over there. It is capturing the air from the side. No,
Yes,
so you have
sir.
to be very careful when you do these type of changes. And then otherwise, it's a very good idea to use and increase the the pressure and get the humidity out of the air. And of course, you have the whole night to collect water, right? So
Yes, sir.
there is
Yes, sir.
humidity,
That's what
and
we are
luckily there is
thinking.
a lot of humidity around because
Yes, sir.
everywhere there is water evaporating.
Hmm,
So I think it's a very good idea to generate water, and
Yes, sir.
but you need to quickly check out the calculations of how much air, how much water with a very straightforward straightforward formulas, and you should be able to know by the end of the night you need to create 4-5 units or 1 unit will suffice, how much water
Yes.
will come, all that you can make out.
Yes.
But it's a good idea to combine these.
So do you think that the vortex kind of thing will work? Means will it generate more water?
That's what I was also doubting. You'll have to, it won't. You'll have to just make multiple units rather than increase the vortex, because your pressure will not be enough to pump through the vortex.
Yes.
So you'll have to make more units rather than create a big vortex.
Okay. Okay.
No, it totally depends upon how much air pressure and how much of pipe length you're using.
Yes.
And how much is the temperature difference. No. So all that is straightforward formulas. Anybody of you from mechanical engineering and chemical engineering, you should be able to calculate.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Richa
yes,
is
sir.
from chemical.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
from electrical.
Yeah, if
And
you calculate these things, then you'll be able to make a very, very good product and even patent it. Yeah.
okay. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Next is also low cost toilet in Ranaf Kutch. It's Rajghosh, Kapil, Tanmay, and Narottam.
Everyone, we are one more team about toilet for Ranaf Kutch. So I will not go much into the problem statement. It is known to all of us.
Yeah.
So these were the ideations and problems identified. So directly, our major focus was upon the infrastructure part of the toilet. So we observed that it is completely open area. So a lot of wind blows in that area. So even if you want to make a rigid toilet, so we have to do a lot of work on the base installation of the pores. So we wanted to minimize the wind drag on the surfaces of the toilet. So we didn't want to use a lot of sticks, a lot of aluminum material, etc. for the toilets manufacturing. So what we came up, we can just simply install 3 poles. I have depicted it here for just illustration. So what we want to do is we want to roll the jute bag on one of the poles. So what we would do is whenever the wind flow is high in that area, they can simply unscroll that and fold it upon this thing, that like what happens in auto rickshaws, rainy seasons and all. So they can just simply roll it upon there, and when they want to use it, they can open it up and then just hang it up in this thing. It will require a very basic installation. They can reinstall it in any part they want. So there would be a rigid, there would be a drainage system, whatever. We are not going into that. We just wanted to focus upon the infrastructure part. So we are planning to make it triangular, because making it triangular would be much more beneficial. And we want to make a stand on the top of it, just to on the top of it to hang a smartphone that we can use through a flashlight. So they can use it in the night times. So what the basic purpose of the triangular structure, we collected this data from Bhuj Airport's wind direction. It is like 80 kilometers from that particular location. 68% of the wind flows in the west and southwest direction. So we want to have this angle in such a direction that minimum drag from the wind would be there in the toilet, so that there's minimum loss to the toilet infrastructure. So this is our major concern, that why we want to make it triangular in nature. So the thing is, we want to make, meanwhile we are making these toilets and all, ladies have to wait for the sun to go down, then they can step out, or otherwise they use this khatia, we call it is a bed made out of jute ropes, and they sleep on that, and they take this khatia to the field in daytime, and they hang a cloth upon it, and they do their work. So but it is not right, because they are sleeping in that and they are using it again. So for the time being, we were planning to have a basic stand-like structure that is again having some cloth attached to it, and a frame would be there and a stand would be there, to at least not have this problem at least over there. Again, one more infrastructure that we can use, there are a lot of water tankers they are having. So if there is any water tanker that is not in use, we can use that water tanker for better purpose. So we are thinking about this aspect as well. Our major aspect is in the triangular wind drag reduction. So this is our major, and we can have holes upon, like what happens in banners, to minimize the wind force. We would be having some holes in it to have minimum loss due to wind area. Thank you. Hello.
Shaku, any suggestion, quick comment?
Yeah. Kate is there. She's there. Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah. Could you yeah. Did you have a look at the?
I'll go.
Yeah.
I think we'll take turns,
Oh,
and
sure.
that'll be nice and quick,
Yeah.
or both. Yeah.
Yeah, Shaku, go ahead, because you know this context. Yeah.
Yeah, I know you haven't got much time.
Yeah.
So I think that, again, this is a really great project because the site is very important with the prevailing winds. I think also what you've hit upon is using a structure that's very similar to the housing on the Rana of Kutch.
Yes.
So people, they go out in a truck and they put the sticks in the ground and they use these hessian bags to make the house in addition to, building up some material around mud around the edge, etc. So I think I can see that you've done some research into how people are using existing structures in that area, which is really nice. I'm wondering if the whole item might be portable so that you take the whole structure with you when you maybe go back to your village or you move sites, and that might be better than trying to leave the jute out on the salt pans when the weather it's a very harsh environment and that material might not last, or maybe that material only lasts one season anyway. I don't know, I'm not an expert in jute, although it's a pretty robust material. But I really liked the way that you'd also referenced the other furniture in the environment that people were very familiar with. So when you introduce this toilet structure, it won't be such a foreign and alien and uncomfortable product. It'll be something that people will say, hey, that reminds me a bit of something that's very familiar. So I really liked the approach that you took with that project. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And same thing, like Kate actually covered it all. So we'll go to the next one. Very good. Good work. Especially the frugal aspect, Kate also brought in. Fabulous. Very good.
Very good.
Next. We'll go to the next student.
Yeah, so next name is Agricultural Wader Machine, Vimal William Partner, and Big Magwana.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. I'll just share my screen.
Please limit yourself to 5 minutes quick and show your final project more in detail. Okay, final solution.
Yeah. So is my screen visible?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Sir, our project was creating a weeder. So based on the literary studies and the groundwork that we did, we jotted down the problems or prioritized them in the following ways. The first one was that the crops get damaged during weed removal. So that was the first priority. Second was that weeds don't get uprooted completely. They have fibrous or taproots. Mostly fibrous roots are there based on our ground study, what we found. Then once the weeds are removed, they further grow during the cropping season. So that is one problem. Fourth one is that farmers might get injured while weeding. Farmers bend a lot. That was a major problem. And farmers' hands have prolonged contact. So these were the major problems. So then we went on to see the existing solutions. Mostly hand weeding was the prevalent method of weeding. Besides that, we had wheel weeders and corner weeders in paddy. So we try to work around the demerits of these things. Like corner weeder is only applicable for wetlands, and this wheel weeder is only applicable for drylands. So since hand weeding was the most prevalent sort of method of weeding over here, so we try to find out an alternative procedure for that. The major problem was that they have prolonged contact with water, as a result of which fungal infections occur. So we try to, when we were deconstructing the idea, we try to take ideas from the tools that grab stuff, because ultimately the roots have to be grabbed and taken out. So we took ideas from screw grabbers or tweezers or flute puckers, and I managed to create a POC based on from rudimentary materials like tin cans and aluminum foils. But the construction was very faulty. I mean, I bolted over, I created a screw joint over here, but it was sort of very loose, as a result of which I wasn't able to apply as much force while taking out the roots. So this was our first POC, but we also noted out that in our second ground study, we found that in fields where there is the field size is very large, like 1 acre or more, taking out individual roots takes so much time. So we try to come up with a second concept based on the wheel weeder. We try to modify it. So I'll just show the CAD model. So this was based on a torsional spring. I mean, most of the farmers, they avoid using manual devices, be it a transplanter or a weeder, is because
they require so much effort. So I try to reduce the effort factor by introducing a torsional spring. So like here will be a spring attached to a lever, and a string will be attached to that lever. Then when we, this is the handle where the farmers can hold the model. And when they pull it back, then the string gets coiled around the wheel shaft. This is the behind wheel, rear wheel. So rear wheel shaft. And when they release it, then the string energy stored here will extend the string and it will move on its own. So in some way, the effort will be reduced. That was the main purpose, the idea behind it. I try to also see if I could build a POC on that. But yesterday I spent the whole day trying to create one, but the spring kind of broke while I was testing it. So I tried to arrange other materials, but couldn't complete it in time. So these are the concepts that we have worked on so far. I mean, I think the concepts are worth looking into or testing out, but just couldn't complete the construction in time.
No,
This is as far as we've come.
Yeah, very good. Actually, you yourself said it. The concepts are worth considering, and they're very good. So we also completely second you on that. So they're really, and then you have two, genres of concepts. One is hand plucking. The other one is this. You could try some more options in hand plucking. Like the telescopic option where you can grab, telescopically. And of course the one with the hinge is always very good because you get tremendous amount of force to pull, when you close in and pull. So, and then of course you can work on the, gripper much more. So, so maybe you could have dug deep into the gripping mechanism and that rather than work on two large projects. It's such a huge project, right? So very good. So please, maybe focus on the first one, like the hand pull, which can reduce their drudgery, which can reduce the bending. Professor Salil Gupta is very, very, very concerned about the, bending of the women and men to take out, so in this case, you can stand and do it. So it will be a great initiative. So please focus on the first one and you got a great idea there. And of course, work out multiple options so that it can work better. Okay?
Sure,
All the best.
Thank you, sir.
We'll go to next student.
Next.
Next team is redesigning of a mask. Prabhudatta Daita and Narottam Jaina.
Yeah, go ahead, Prabhudatta. Kate, you could take these questions.
Thank you. I will.
I like the way you really, size the questions nicely and, you really very nicely put it up.
Go ahead.
Off we go.
Go ahead, fellows, go ahead. Where is your presentation? Yeah, go.
Hello.
Brief. Prabhudatta, you have to be brief.
Okay, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, you are.
5 minutes or less.
Sir. Yes, sir. Okay. This is basically our thing is the residence of mask for COVID-19. The problem is that, sir, we are facing so many problems in wearing this kind of mask. So difficulty of breathing, infected sound flow, bad grip for everyone in this face, and also losing some problems. These are the basic problems we identified from this mask. And this is our mind map. From there, we have to find out this kind of problems. And this is the chalk out from that. Then we have started different IITs of India, those who are developing this kind of mask. And we are finding different testing procedures. But we found that all of the masks have some kind of problems that is also be overcome in our new design mask, because all are maximum of 5 layers, not more than that. But thing is that in between the material, there are some kind of protection is needed that may not be available on this kind of things. So our probable approach is most air purification systems, as well as for proper knots of velocity and all these things. With these kinds of things we are going to design. Now this is our layer purification systems that we are going to provide it in this mask. And this is the designing approach where we are basically segregated the bacteria and all these things. After the different type of shapes available in this kind of mask, And this is our technical specification of the new mask, where we are providing 6 layers and minimum 3 and maximum is 6. So in between, we are layer of 4, 5 and 6. We are providing different kind of fabrics as well as some kind of gels that is giving ultra protections to entry of different kind of virus. And we are finding that it is better for 343 per area also, and as well as different kind of inhalation and exhalations procedures you can provide us. Next, this is the hot cotton layer. We are introducing some this kind of virus mask so that it can giving up different protections. Next, sir, this is our design mask that we can see from inside. This is the 2 outlets we are providing. One outlet's obviously protected by hot cotton layer. Another outlet's also protected for virus and exhalation of carbon dioxides. Next, sir, this is the grip. Adjustable grip we are providing. One is head loop and another is ear loop, and it is breath compatibility obviously. So this is the current mask. We are providing some expandable features. Next, this is obviously the features. We are anti-particles and water repellent. Everything is giving on this kind of mask. Also, it is a lightweight. Now, problems, whatever in the respirator, if you find that 3 to 4 hours maximum, that if you're wearing this kind of mask, it will getting some moisture in your inside, and that will obviously giving some problems in your lungs area. That is a high risk in case of futures. This mask I have found from the proper oxygen availability and wearing. This is a very risky procedures. They are suggesting from that US. Next, this is our design mask. This is the features we are providing, how many oxygens you take and what are the better options you are available per minute. This is procedures, your mathematical analysis you are doing, giving 4 parts and dividing 3D diagrams. For that, we can droplets and everything can be segregated. This is the diagrams. We are basically studying different kind of exhalations. This is water vaporization considerations also. And these are the actual mask we are doing surrounding different region, core regions, and 5 regions were identified. From every regions, we collected a data for our moistures, heat, and everything, what you're containing the mask. So this is the actual procedures we found out to increase our betterment performance of this mask. And this is the inside process of everything. We are taking the breath cycles and collecting the temperatures also. This is the things I will do.
You mentioned that these are from secondary sources, no?
Yes, sir. Obviously,
yeah.
But you can perform this kind of things also.
Yeah, you can, but be careful in mentioning that these are from the published papers that you're taking.
Yes, sir. This is the actual diagram that we are going to provide. And this is, sir, different devices you are using to collecting the data. And now this is our statistical approach that we are going to on here. Water vapor consideration within the mask, temperature and relative humidity present in the mask, amount of heat generated within the mask, and measurement of bacteria distribution inside the mask. For that, we providing statistical approach. Sir, this is the approach for we are giving. You are using PCA based plate count agar systems as well as SDA system, so we can easily find out that how much bacteria it will containing. This is our mathematical approach and formulas we are using for find out number of bacteria and we can operations. So basically we require this type of mask is highly, whether any mask you are wearing 3 to 4 hours and moving different medical hospitals, suppose medical ward, female medical ward, emergency room. So you are containing different type of virus because they are infected with different kind of disease. So these kind of operations we are performing and check whether this is good and not. So from data we will find out that it will giving better protections as well as we can release this mask in outsides. And this is our actual calculated features of the according to features, and we found that this is the cost, manufacturing cost of this mask. Obviously it will depend on you, if you providing more features, obviously this data price can be increased. And one thing we found out that they are suggesting that if you wearing the mask 3 to 4 hours, it may be happen that some kind of containing virus, you may not be washable time or like that. So we are providing some aerosol based solutions to clean the mask. Obviously when we segregated the bacteria, obviously that bacteria will be easily destroyed by these kind of solutions. And this is our references, sir.
Sir, and lastly, we tried to make, instead of the ear loop, we are going for some loop kind of system with a button. If Prabhupada, if you could show that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
well,
sir, yes.
That's
just a minute, madam.
Oh, still going. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you put the picture up again? Okay.
Madam, this is the actual things we are doing this for knotting ear loop and adjustable head loops. So Daita easily explain these things. Also, you.
Yes, ma'am, and sir, instead of the tying part or even
It's understood, no?
here, we will just put the rubber band portion which you can see in the image. We can just put it through the loop and then it will come and attach in the front to the buttons, or we could have Velcro over there, whichever would be less costly. We were thinking of something like that for the knot.
So any kind of space, it can be adjustable. Hello.
Okay. So that was a complex presentation. What I really liked about the presentation was that you have gathered an immense amount of material about the specifications that you need for your mask. And I think that you've hit on something really essential, which is you've got a reusable aspect to it, right?
Yes, sir.
So when you, and I think that has been the hugest thing with COVID and the personal protective equipment, is the amount of waste has been immense, that people are wearing these things once and then they're throwing them away. So I think that if you can reduce that amount of waste, you've got an incredibly strong product. And I think that also the fact that you had a very comprehensive set of performance parameters, which you've gathered from all of your research sources, that almost looked like a PhD in the amount of information that you've gathered in such a short time. It was very, very impressive. And I think that you could now move forward with that performance and sort of say, well, this is something we can take to a manufacturer or we can take to a hospital and move forward with this idea. But I think if you can also reduce the amount of waste that's involved, either by having reusable elements or having your cleaning solution that you talked about, you would really have a massive impact on the way that we wear these masks in terms of comfort, but also reducing the incredible amount of waste that's happened through this pandemic. So fantastic project, well done.
Madam, another thing is that in between third and fourth layer, we are using some kind of solutions. So penetrating up the bacteria from your outside or inside, it will obviously protect it from this mask. So obviously, if you not clean it or you not thrown it, you can use our solutions and maintain this mask for wearing 15 to 20 days, whatever you want. So it will obviously decrease the wastage of COVID. So that is also our solutions.
I think that's a fantastic objective. Really great project. Well done.
Thank you, madam.
You don't have to use rubber bands, Daita. Just tying them on the back of the head will be good enough. I mean, I wonder why nobody designed tying bands. It seems such a good idea.
Such a straightforward idea, yeah. And we
and girls and boys, I mean, people who wear masks or otherwise scarves, they do tie like that. So it's a good idea, actually. You know, which we should have understood for a long time ago. The rubber bands or elastic bands are so uncomfortable. So you don't mix up the two good ideas. I mean, you're mixing up rubber band with the strap. No need. No need. Just tie it up there.
It's just so that it would be fast. It will just come and stick anywhere.
No. Tying is faster. Tying is faster.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
You know, when girls put the headband and they put some ribbon behind, you tie that. This tying is so fast.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, many times women, when they drive two-wheeler, they put their chunni and they tie it behind, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So tying is good enough. This is a damn good idea. Next, please.
Our next team is high temperature in PPE kit. Sirish Shekhar Jha, Abhishek Prasad, and Saroj Narayan.
Yes. Sir, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. So our problem statement is high temperature inside PPE kit. And why we are not using available solution? Because most of them use air ventilation system, which have some inherent problems. They only last for 2 to 3 hours. They are noisy and uncomfortable due to vibration, and their form factor is does hinder their work. And the issue of air filtration is bigger. They are still searching on this, and these are our possible solutions. and we have finalized this. Super absorbent fiber plus a phase changing material waste. In this, SAF absorbs sweat and PCM stores the body heat. It's a bit heavy. We are testing that. Then PCM can be placed internally or externally. We are still deciding on that. It's reusable, dedicated refrigeration required to cool down PCM, and it works to around 4 to 5 hours, and it is our estimate. And these are some reference photos. So currently in the market, PCM waste and SAF waste are currently sold separately. On the left side, these are PCM packs, blue colored, and in the right side, that white waste is SAF waste, which absorbs sweat from the human body and cools down. And these are the questions we need to answer right now, that will it be safe for skin, and what kind of PCM we will use, and how long will PCM last, and there are some questions. And in summary, we are stuck here because we need a lot of prototyping to decide on these things, and so we are stuck. Only this much.
Yeah, Abhishek, no? Abhishek.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. In fact, this is very good idea of using PCM, and of course, also the SAF for sweat absorbing, and you don't need to worry about the you can always have a cloth layer inside for better skin protection. That's one thing. And you know what? The chemical composition of PCM. You know what material is a PCM? It's all available.
Yes, sir. So there are different kinds of there are PCMs.
Tell me which one is...
depending on temperature we want.
Yeah. So basically, like we have to, the common, what they use for sugar-free, that's a PCM material. You are aware of that? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Anyway, you could have easily, they're all available online. You could have purchased, like my student was using PCM, he was making a solar cooker, and they bought it online and they tested one, solar cooker using PCM material. So you please always motivate yourself to don't get bogged down by the COVID. Order things online and build mock-ups and working rigs so that you can be sure, because you can get any jacket from anywhere. You could have got PCM material and you could have tried it out, put it in the fridge and try it out. These are very important for design. Okay.
Sir, one thing, we have tried some prototyping related to weight and
you must show that. That's very important. Yeah.
Yes, sir. But yesterday only we have done. In that we have tried to figure out the weight problem, that will it be heavy, and so seeing that if we use large straps, wider straps on our shoulder, then 1 kg weight is fairly enough.
Exactly.
It's comfortable, not a problem.
Where is the picture?
Sir, I could not add in this picture.
We understood. So if you tried out, we are very happy. No, all the best. Yeah, let us go to the next student. Very good. You should always try out things, as a very important design thinking assignment. Okay.
Our next team is COVID waste disposal. Ankush, Richa, Jayendra, Rishabh, Tanmay.
Please start. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, sir. First of all, we worked on the COVID-19 based disposal model. This is a problem statement which we fixed. We needed to design we saw the existing COVID based disposal model and tried to make an application based improvement in the model itself, which involves the whole system, like rack pickers, sanitation workers, and other frontline workers. So this is our product pipeline. We did all the mind mapping. We saw all the research articles, paper, access the prior works, and then there were many categorization in the problem itself. So we did all the brainstorming and then came up with a problem statement. Now we did a prototype 1, and then we failed in the prototype 1 in some certain aspects, and we got reviewed and we did its review and analysis. We got it reviewed from the Prof. Anil Gupta himself. Then we made another prototype, the final design which we could think of now, and then we contacted its users and interviewed them on our prototype itself. And there's also scope of some future improvements and suggestions as well. So this is the current scenario. This is the COVID-19 beddability map. It is used by the waste generators, such as the biomedical waste generators. Now what they do is they generate the waste, and they make a request. They make a request on the app itself. The waste is categorized yellow. Yellow is some sort of waste. This COVID infected waste. Red is the PP kits and masks which are not from the COVID patients, and blue and white are also similarly categorized. Now they make a make a request. Now whenever the waste handler is free, he accepts it. He accepts this waste and he collects it from the hospitals or the waste generator itself. After collecting the whole waste, then he deposits it into a facility. From the facility, if it's a COVID waste, then it is being burned or buried in deep burial pits, or rather, if it's other type of like white or blue bag, then it is sent into the landfills as well, depending on the type of the waste. So this is a prototype which we have come with. We have come with a new model. We have the first. It is based on 5 processes, 5 steps. This is the first step is the waste generation. Now we'll allow daily fixed time slot, like for example 10 a.m. in which till 10 a.m. all the waste generators have to register on the app about the waste and its type of details. Then it will be algorithm scheduling. So our algorithm will allot vans and makes and it will also give QR coded stickers, and it all will be given to the central authority, that is the ULB. And now when it be given to the ULB will tell the vehicle drivers that you have to go to this place. Will tell the van drivers to go to this place and collect the waste, and it will give the info of the waste generators, and also he'll give the QR coded stickers to them. So the van drivers will collect this waste from the waste hospitals and paste the QR coded stickers on them, and then and at the end of the day they'll deposit all the waste to the disposal facilities. So, and also in the disposal facilities, if it's a normal waste, then it has to be sanitized and wait after 72 hours, or if it's COVID waste, then it is directly been deposited in the incinerators and burned. So that time clock can also be maintained from our app. So this is the algorithm is used. This is a discharge weighted algorithm. All the references and papers have been referenced in the report as well. So what it does, it makes it takes inputs of weight of the bags, the location of the waste generator, and capacity of that, and makes a path. Like if it's 3 kg path, then you have to go from C to D, D to F. So this would be covered by van 1, and if you go E to G to F or some sort of other things like that, so it has made the path from the whole city as well, that where each van should go and collect the waste itself. This is the process which we have done. Now our algorithm works and allots, and it generates stickers. This is the waste generator, and it prints the QR codes. And as soon as we see that the waste, the vehicle has accepted it, the user, the hospital waste generator gets a notification that your order, that your waste has been accepted. You can track the vehicle, and this is the estimated time of collection. This is the vehicle number which is going to collect. This is the QR coded sticker which I was talking about. It has the hospital generator name, the color of the bag itself, and the QR code attached on it. Now, what QR coded information we have: the weight of the bag, the waste generator name, the van name, the time of disposal, the van collection time, and also the facility connection time. So as soon as you scan the QR code in the facility as well, it inputs the time which has reached the facility after it has sanitized, and so 72-hour window can also be maintained. So from that, the waste. From that after the vehicle collector just collects the garbage, puts the QR code sticker, and then it goes to the facility. So where the decision is made, if it's yellow bags, so burn it. If not, if other type of bags, send it to landfills or deep burial pits or whatever. So we also did a user design review. We contacted 7 hospitals in 3 different cities and 3 COVID waste collectors in 2 cities. And these are the pros. The most important point was the automation. The automation of this process, as it involves less and less labor, because there were many people involved in the facility for noting the collection time and other sorts of things like that. So if there's less labor involved, manual labor involved, then it's less infection, better management at the facility. So there's no multiple trips of the waste collectors. Initially, they were like going for 3 or 4 trips a day. And there's a fixed daily timing system. Like the hospital didn't knew that when their garbage would be collected, so it was lying in front of the hospital, which causes more infection as well. And this tracking of the COVID waste could be done. User can also track the waste collection, that's where it is, and the 72-hour disposal window is also maintained. We also found some cons in this. There's some issue of missed time slot, and it is not applicable in village areas or rural areas with no incineration facilities. The CBWTFs are not available. So, and also behavioral and technological problems could also occur. So there are further improvements, and also it will like to hear from you. So the prototype to the algorithm is taking some long time running algorithms, so it could be corrected. And other automation solutions could also be given in the facilities, such as conveyor vents for depositing the for depositing the garbage into the garbage into the incinerators, increasing thickness of the bag, so it avoids tearing, and use of double bags also for those bags which is in the landfill itself. Also, we can use chemicals such as ammonia or inbuilt smell in the collection repellent in the truck which carries that, so that they make the bags animal repellent, so they don't tear the waste itself. That's it. And also, just like to add that we have made this whole app itself. They're not just templates; we have coded it all itself, including the algorithm. And that's it. That's our improvement. Thank you.
Well, I think Tanmay, you guys must not have had any sleep for the last 2 weeks. This is
yes, it was very tiresome, because the challenge was when our prototype 1 got rejected. We understood why it got rejected, why it got failed, and that was such a big problem. We had to sleep from 2 days straight.
No, but I think your project, it's made your project so much better. And this is the whole thing about getting that real life feedback from your users, particularly the hospitals, and thinking about why the existing process doesn't work. That's what I really like about your project, is you thought about not just the app, but the whole system. Creating the algorithm to reduce the number of trips for the truck is really fabulous, provided, fingers crossed, that keeps working for you. And I think there are other things that you can add into this in terms of the business model, that with this now you can charge the hospital by the weight of the waste, because you've got an ability to track how many bags of waste there are. So there's some business opportunities in here to go with the app, which is far more than you could do in sort of 2 weeks. I really liked the fact that you'd done the pros and cons, because I think every solution needs to be evaluated in terms of the negative and the positive aspects. And we always hope that everything will be positive, but that is not always the case. And I think that you've highlighted the negative aspects, but it makes your project look even stronger. One more thing you could think about is, and you alluded to this at the end of your project, is the material of the plastic bags, so the animal repellent, but also the material of the sticker, so that if these can be reused, probably not because of the medical waste issue, but are they going to biodegrade? How durable are they? And so that material selection and the properties of that plastics material would be quite integral to the success of your system. But a very impressive amount of work in a very short time. Well done.
Ma'am, we also did a QR code review, that QR coded sticker which we're going to use. So we thought that if we are going to sanitize the bag, so the ink might be removed. But I had a QR code on my laptop itself, so I sanitized it again and again and wiped it, but it not got set because it has some plastic coating up over it. So
yeah. So whatever printing you print onto the bag, or how you might do that sticker, there's lots of different, or there's portable printers where you could print, instead of a sticker, where you have a hand printer that allows you to print directly onto the bag, might save you having to have a sticker. But these are tiny parts of a great system that you've put forward. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing it. Get some sleep.
Definitely.
Our next team is COVID waste collection. Rutuparna, Kapil, Pranjal, and Yukta.
Hello, am I audible? Hello. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. Firstly, our team would like to thank all the Srishti team and Professor Anil Gupta sir for providing the suggestions and inputs. In this time of COVID, the COVID waste management and COVID waste segregation will be one of the huge challenge for us in the upcoming time. So we are trying to address the segregation of COVID waste at the initial stages, and we have tried to brainstorm on the different prototypes and homemade, you can say, dustbin, which could be even transplanted at every home. So for that we have tried to we have circulated Google form, and we have tried to analyze the process and try to understand what difficulty people are facing at homes and even at hospitals. So this is the mind map in which we brainstorm on the 3 points which are listed here. And apart from it, we also try to find out what are the guidelines so that in accordance with the guidelines, we can proceed further. So this is whole the process from the different hospitals, like typical households, quarantine centers, temporary hospitals, and how these wastes are analyzed. So we have analyzed every of the aspects, and we have tried to find out that how in best way that COVID waste could be incinerated, or what is the best procedure so that the waste segregation could be done right at the first stage. It should not be at the later stage where COVID waste from the hospitals is mixing with the COVID with the other waste, and they are incinerated or pyrolysis or some other stuff. So we have tried to segregate the waste at first step itself. So it's an ideation regarding the different bins which are provided by the government of India and WHO and several other institutions like ICMR. So basically red, yellow, and blue, white, these are the broad categories of the dustbins which are provided at the hospitals. And normally they are at hospitals, there are several dustbins, huge dustbins. These systems are applicable at hospitals where they are segregated, and there are several systems for disposal also. So in this, we circulated a Google form across India, and through major cities, we tried to find out that what issues they are facing. We have contacted with the hospitals security staff, and therefore we analyzed that there is still very less awareness of these different types of bins across India. Means having separate yellow, having separate red, having separate blue bins is almost at present it is impossible. So segregation of waste is not efficient, for which we try to design this prototype in which there are flaps. There are the flaps open in the outward directions. These flaps open in the outward direction, and such that the waste could be segregated. And the major, I would like to say, the major disadvantage is it needs robust sanitation facility, robust sanitation and cleaning. So that's for that we have tried to analyze what material this bin should be of. Because more will be sanitization, the corrosion problem will also play a major role here. So we studied several materials which could be better for, which could be fit for these dustbins. We came to conclusions that rather than metals, although plastic has some higher time for that COVID virus, but the plastic would be better alternative solutions for this prototype. This further, the handles could also be incorporated in order to make it easy, but that again, that depends on the type of material which we are using. So I've not included the handle sort of stuff here. Further these were the feedback which we collected from the cities. That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, I think you've segregated the you identified the problem quite nicely, that people put the don't segregate well, and you have come up with a very good solution of at one place you have 3 bins. But you should have considered the sizes of various ways. For example, when you open up your suit, it's pretty large, so you need to they can't be equal, right? So you have to think about those angles of utilitarian nature, where you need to make them little bit. When you have the COVID suits, it's a large one. When you have only masks and other things, you have small. So those type of considerations you have to bring in. And maybe you could make it modular, where you can attach multiple color bins together. That's also one more option you can consider. But otherwise, just by variation of sizes, this could be very good. Of course, you already talked about handles, and again, I think you need to have some wheels so that it's easy to move, because it's going to become large. Yeah,
there are wheels.
These are very small wheels, because now this is going to become large. You saw the bins. I'm very glad that you could take some pictures from the hospital. You saw the yellow bin, how big it was?
Yes, sir, but these are for homes. We have tried for homes, especially for homes, because at hospitals they're already they have segregated waste, red, yellow, and blue. But at homes, this segregation is not there. So we just try to we just try to restrict our purpose to homes, because at hospitals they already have. So I think they'll not need that robust, that they'll not need that complex. But at homes, we don't have.
For homes where there are doctors at homes, or have you also thought about that, or is it for regular homes? Because
sir, it's for regular homes. It's for regular homes. Sir.
Because
there might be some COVID based, there might be some non-COVID based, or means that we have tried to categorize from that homes, because at our homes, when municipality vehicle comes to collect the waste, they don't have any segregations. So if the segregation is done right from the homes, so the further process, transportation, storage would be much efficient, and it would not take much time to reach the final incineration
Very
point.
good, very good. Segregation is of course always a welcome, situation. And I was just wondering, how could they be equal? If it's at home also, maybe the sizes could be very
sure.
equal. That's
So
only
that
one
would be-
concern I was having.
Yeah,
but otherwise, very good. All the best. Yeah.
Thank you.
We go to the next student.
Our next team is Expiry Notifier app, Ashish Shah.
Wait, I'm stopping the share.
Good evening, good afternoon, everyone. So, I'd like to start. Is my voice visible? Am I audible? I haven't slept.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Expiry notify service won't let you eat bad. So this is Ashish Shah from NIT Durgapur. So the problem, often it happens we bought a eatable product by looking at the expiry date, and maybe that day we know that it is going to expire in next 2 months. But after 3 months, we realize that it has got expired, and we have to throw that to the dustbin, and it becomes more vulnerable if we consume it. And so, if I talk about the causes, then gets damaged, exposure to dangerous bacteria, perfectly good food gets wasted, waste of food items and money, food poisoning, and loss of nutritional values. So the problem being, often people forget the expiry date of goods bought by them, and they consume it unknowingly, or when they got to know, they have to throw it. The solution being a service or an app that notifies the user about the expiry of a product a month or a week before, with efficient data feeding. So firstly, I'd like to show you that it is the user will get a notification system, and it is connected with the cloud, and that is again connected with the supermarkets. So I'd like to show you the I've made the app. So you'll be able to see then when I open it up. So maybe I can log in. So okay, so it has opened. Now what I can do is I'll add an item. So I'll go maybe honey. So I can choose the dates when it's going to expire, and I'll add that item. Okay, so by this we can add a lot of items. We can see the items over here listed. So it will notify you. Basically, it will notify you, and that will be updated over here. If you add one more item, so in the real time it will be updated. So what I'm actually doing is that from there, from the Firebase server, that is being sent with the users are all added to the they can get registered themselves, and from there they can have that reminder thing. What I'm doing is that I'm taking it to the cloud, not merely into the local device. The reason is that I'm trying to connect it with the supermarkets. So maybe when you do your billing, there will be some kind of ID generation that we are still looking at. So what it will do is that it will be connected with your Google account, and from there only it will take you the data. Okay. And so if I talk about the stages of development, so this stage 1 is done. Stage 2 will be the real testing, and the third will be the big picture integration with supermarkets and local markets for efficient data feeding. The process, if I talk about the app performing the reminder tasks over the internet, this has been done. The optimized data feeding technique, we are still looking into it. And the third is enabling through text messages. So maybe if you are buying a thing from a maybe supermarket, so they'll be responsible for letting you know. They'll be responsible for letting you know about the expiry of that particular thing. So from there we can have a revenue generation also, like it can be of a subscription kind of thing. So with this I would like to end. Any questions?
Hey, I think it's my turn. I thank you for the presentation, Ashish. I think that it's a very clear presentation for this app. And I think that the problem of food waste is an important problem to look at. I think that you could actually link this in with online shopping lists. I don't know if people use those a lot in India.
Yeah, exactly.
Australia. In COVID, this has become a really important thing, that there's now speed shopping available. It's all done through an app. So you could also extend this project further, that maybe
we can integrate.
It can work with your online shopping list, and also
Exactly,
let you know when you're running. Yes,
Yeah.
when you're running low on other like standard items like flour or tin tomatoes or those sorts of things. I think that you might want to work on making it really easy to enter the data. So whether
Exactly,
you
Mom.
can scan in off, work in with packaging people and scan the data off the package, so you don't have to enter it in. I think
Yeah,
making
exactly,
that as
ma'am.
easy.
For the prototype, I've made like that, but I'm working on to that, like the efficient way of data feeding, as that
Yeah.
is the crucial thing.
Maybe that can happen off the barcode. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I'm not across
actually,
how that all
some
works.
yes, some of the barcodes don't have this value of expiry dates. They have just the
Yes.
batch numbers and all. We are thinking about what we can do about that.
And if you wanted to have a socially responsible aspect to this, you could have an opportunity that if you wanted to donate your food before the expiry date, that might be an option for you as well. Maybe your taste has changed, or you didn't like that particular food or whatever, and that way you could have a little bit of a social impact.
Yes, ma'am. We are thinking
with
of
this
like
as well.
it will be like if you are not able to consume, then the pop-up will give you that what you can do with it.
Yes, I
Maybe
think
you
that
can
would be
donate it, or if it is a juice, mere juice, then you can dump it in your garden.
yeah, to know what to do with it. Yeah, I think that's good. And then also to sort of say which food can be composted if you have compost, or whichever way to dispose of it. So giving a little bit more of a rounded, giving an education aspect to this product as well would be really nice. Well done, and a lovely visual presentation.
Thank you, ma'am.
Great work. In a very short period of time too. Well done.
Thank you, ma'am.
Our next team is at source of domestic waste, Rupali, Rajkush, Praveen.
Hello. My presentation is visible, right?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes. So good afternoon, all. So our topic is at source waste segregation, and even from previous presentations, we have realized that waste segregation is really a vital role, like to end landfill and other waste management situations. So through literature, I have realized, I have got the real numbers in India. Like we see that this is the real waste generated per day in India from the source is CPCB, and from that I have got that 90% of that waste is collected, but only 27% of that waste is actually processed. So even if the 90, which is a huge number, 90% of waste is being collected, only 20% is like processed, and remaining goes to landfill, which is not a good sign. And so going forward. So this is what we realize, the practical scenario. Okay, sorry. So here I wanted to mention, like, government does take many initiatives to deal this and to end this landfill. So in India, there are already a lot of acts and there are already rules. We can see the government consider hazardous waste, then plastic and e-waste, all sort of, and they are working on the acts. But still, this is a practical scenario which we tried to jot down, like our observation. And we have selected a domestic waste segregation problem where we are trying to focus on individual. Again, under which individual we can narrow down, there is a behavioral problem and there is a lack of awareness in people's, and like the people were facing difficulties because we do have only wet and dry waste bins. So for that, first that what we tried to come with a solution. So for that we realized that maybe we could come with a proper dustbin design which will promote waste segregation. So this with what we analyzed, and we tried to make a survey that how many beans are already in the market. So Rajkush, would you like to add here?
Yeah, so in the first thing that you can say, there's a simple dry and wet waste. There's an aluminium compartment that when the waste falls upon it, it drops into the wet, or if it is a dry waste, then it falls in the dry one. The second one is about high-rise buildings. There's a separate duct for garbage disposal. What happens in high-rise buildings, the top floor people just put their garbage into that, and the waste just comes to the bottom. And the third one is about placing your waste in an identifier, and it uses IoT based systems, and it opens one of the dustbins. So please go to the next slide. And there's a much more manual thing is like there's just segregation, different compartments for different types of waste. So these are manual, a lot of designs and a lot of things are available in the manual aspect. What we wanted to infer from this is we already have a lot of technology and a lot of dustbins we are having that can already do the waste segregation part. What we lack is the lack of awareness. Even if you go to the IoT based solutions as well, the thing is a lot of amount of capital is to be invested in that. And every household in India cannot afford that. So what we can do is behavioral change is more sustainable in this aspect. We wanted to infer that already a lot of solutions are available, but the major aspect to it is the behavioral change. What happens in the duct system also, although a duct is provided in the high-rise buildings, but still the people are using polythene bags to tie up their wet waste and they're dropping into that. So there's no solution even if we are having a lot of IoT things in that. Yeah, Rupali, we can continue.
Yes. So after like realizing that dustbin is a surface solution, and if we really want to solve this from the root, then the proposed solution which we have come up with is a awareness. We do need to aware people, and we do need to provide them information which they are lacking regarding waste. This is basically a scenario in Indian context. People are less aware about the waste segregation, and that's why they don't follow that habit. So like we are trying to have a awareness campaign where through awareness campaign we can target large audience, and for a start we can start from society, schools or colleges, where we can target the educated people who are more likely towards a change, then giving them and engaging them through information. So again, this is a very basic classification, or I have tried to make it small into categorized it. So we have kids, then we have adults, homemakers and elders. So to engage kids with the information, we have different mediums, like we can throw information through comics, we can design play, then we can have animated short films which can educate kids for the waste segregation. For adults again, so these are different channels we can walk through, and for awareness campaign, after giving them good amount of awareness, it is really important that we give them a channel where they can start this habit. So for that, after discussing cause and effect and giving them information, we will start small for 7 days habit cycle. So like for that, so this is basically a like small illustration for habit cycle. We all know that habit cycle does make a difference when you really want to have an adaptive change. So like for in the first 7 days, they will have this cue and routine route, and then once after 7 days, we can give them a reward for their for their contribution for waste segregation. And again, for giving reward, we should be open to various channels. We don't really need to rely completely on money. We can have service based rewards, we can have food based rewards, and many more. We are working on that. So basically this was a literature survey through which like it was conducted in Delhi. So what they have done is they have they try to target large audience from the societies, and for few people they give information, for other group they give information plus norms, and for the third group they provided information with incentive. So this was the result which they got. So like after few months, the monitoring was observed that people who are given only information get 54%, and information plus norm 47, and the
Pali, you have
incentives.
to be short. You have to be
Yeah,
short.
yeah, sir. Sorry, sir.
Come to your
So
solution.
yeah.
Come to your solution. Come
So
to your.
sir, this
We get to
is
see your
my
solution,
solution. I want to start from here. I want to make I want to add a habit cycle in people through giving them reward. At first we will inform them, we will give them information through various channels, and we'll give them a time span to adapt to that habit, and after adapting we'll give them a reward. So this is what we are trying from our awareness campaigning, and this is what the conclusion of our project. So waste management is a global challenge, and we do need different aspects or different type of solution. Like beans can work in some areas, and we do need awareness for all Indian context. So this is what, and like basically here I wanted to add a very one line, that in cases of when we know that any new product launches in the market, the company tries to like make it they try to bombard it through various channels. They advertise it, or they put it in social media. So through various channels they bombard the information. Through that somewhat it gets into a habit cycle of the people. But why don't we do this when it comes to providing the information on this very crucial part? We can adapt this, and yeah, I think this can work very well. An awareness campaign, we can start from the youth like us, and we can try to target large audience. And these are the references, and thank you.
So Rupali, what's the name of the boy who was also working with you? Rupali and? Rajkush, very good. So Rupali, I think what I like about your presentation is that, you all identified the key issue, the source, the people who don't do this waste segregation, and, motivating them, and, using campaigns and using various means to do that is a very good idea. You should also look at, and of course that will also motivate them to, reduce, reuse and recycle. No, you've got those three
Yes,
R's, which are very critical.
Yes, sir.
And if you
So,
could also
sir,
focus on those three things.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Very underlying, like from various books which I have read, I really feel that habit cycle is the real
Very good,
key
Rupali. You
to
really
target our audience. So
Yeah,
we
yeah.
definitely need, because like we have seen, we have a lot of dustbins, government is throwing a lot of acts and rules, but people are not aware of all those solutions.
Right.
People are not aware of the
Yeah,
consequences.
you made
So
your
there is a
presentation, Rupali.
huge gap.
It's my
Yeah,
chance
sorry.
to talk now.
Yeah, sorry, sir.
You made your so very good. Actually,
Hey,
I like your
listen.
passion. Yeah. No, Anil sir. Yeah.
Sorry, sir.
No, not at all. No, very good. We like your passion. You need that type of commitment to work on waste. No, we've done years together. We worked on projects on waste segregation, and very good, Rupali. This is the coming to the source, educating people, and challenging them and giving them rewards, and giving awards to societies. All these are part of the government's plan, but we to do much more. So very good. Keep it up, and please implement at least one or two of those in your societies and around, so that you can get a correct feel of how these things can happen.
Yes, sir. We are definitely going to work on that.
Very good, Rajkush and Rupali.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Sir, any comments from you, Professor Gupta?
We have had long discussion earlier.
Yeah.
I'm happy that she has crystallized the thoughts now.
Yeah, nice.
Thank you so much. I really wanted to hear that from you.
So next theme is reduction in death due to tobacco consumption by Amit Dave.
Good afternoon, sir. So the presentation is on the reduction of death due to tobacco in India and particularly focus on the young. So what is the cause? So first we start with the problem. What is the problem? Loss of young lives of India due to tobacco. As all of us are aware that India is one of the youngest population of the world, and it has big impact and also in future for healthcare in later decades. Every day, 5,500 children start tobacco use. And the maniac of tobacco is throughout the world, not only in India. So every day in India, 2,740 person lost their lives. That means every year. It is really a big problem, not 1 year or 2 years. It is a century-old problem across the world. So let us understand how it affects. So during our literature review, it was found that it is more affecting the poor people, more affecting to the rural people, and particularly Indian problem is about smokeless tobacco, which the people consume directly, and that is resulting in cancers of mouth, cancers of pancreas, etc. Then while coming to the various design insights, most of us are neglecting the deadly consequences of this despite of awareness. And lack of adequate national coverage with powerful and effective motivational force reaching to potential target with a slack enforcement of laws. So we have many laws, but all laws are not implemented as they should be. And there is a limited use of advanced technology for behavior changes. Of course, now the government has some programs and they already implemented some advanced technology use, but still there is a lot of scope for improvement. And in India also there is an inadequate research and focus considering the gravity of the problem. So we conducted the brainstorms to find out why youngsters start consuming tobacco and what we can do. So the main factors affecting them is surrounding, that is family, school, and friends. And experiencing and feeling of loneliness and depression. And they try to show off among the friends, and they are sometimes under the stress. So what we can do? We have to increase the parental support. We have to alert them about small negative effects. That is very important. That this sometimes they consider only the big disease which is not likely to happen. That is what they are considering. Then scientific demonstration of ill effects and actual stories of affected family. So we have to strongly ingrain these facts in the minds of the youngsters. So we also prepared the mind map, but the focus area is youngsters, and then development of the programs using automation enhancement and suitable apps. So we of course carried out various literature review, and we can highlight the facts that this effect of the tobacco on athletes also. In Qatar, they have carried out one experiment, and they published the paper how tobacco consumption is affecting the performance of athletes. And it is surprising to know that even athletes were not aware about the adverse effect of the tobacco on their performance. So it is very much needed to spread this type of awareness among youngsters. So what we want to do, we want to build up a channel for education and awareness, which will be developed and design involving the experts in the field of communications and doctors. Then it will be further reviewed by the experts, and we will be testing it across the schools in the country. And then based on the feedback, it will be improved and the necessary modification will be carried out. And this will be require continuous engagements amongst the youngsters. We also consider other ideas, but we are not right now focusing on development of apps focused on youth, and for education and awareness program, law enforcement. There are also other actions we can take: community involvements, curtailing tobacco farming, countering tobacco companies' advertisement, then concept development. So identifying the key differentiators for fitness amongst youngsters, smokers and non-smokers, identifying behavior indicators among young smokers and smokers who quit and non-smokers, develop model based on this with the support of behavior scientists and IT professionals for alerting youngsters based on behavior indicators and motivating them based on fitness parameter. Then demonstrating the damage to the body parts by correlating tobacco consumption. Here we can use the various science models, models of the lungs, models of mouth, how these are affected. And we can also use other online support medium. So once we ready, we can test with the selected group of students and experts. The developed education program is to be implemented with support of schools and community leaders. And we can spend maximum 1 hour for this such program, and it will be in regional language. It is based on the my interaction and the review with the Gadchiroli, one of the district of the Maharashtra. It is the most poor district in the India, and it consumes roughly 300 crores rupees per year in the tobacco and alcohol. So despite the efforts of the well-known organization there, still this is the scenario. So the problem is very big, and I think we all need to work together to evolve a solution. Meanwhile, we are developing this educational channel, which we'll plan to test in some of the schools in Ahmedabad in near future. Thank you.
Sorry, that's better. Now I can see you. Okay, Amit, that is a very comprehensive presentation on the tobacco industry and the reasons why people smoke. So I think that you've hit on something really interesting when you talk about adolescence and peer pressure as being a big influencer on people taking up smoking. So I think that that is something that highlights the complexity of a problem like this. It's not just a health issue, it's a social issue. And I think the other difficulty with tobacco is that it's such a big industry and there's so much money involved that it's very hard to convince companies to change their marketing habits without the government stepping in and changing the rules. So I think you've really understood the complexity of this problem really well. I think there's two things that I think you can work on here. One is the incentives. So what are the incentives for the teenagers to not smoke? And also the other half of this is the negative impact. So how do you convey the negative health impacts that have a big impact on adolescents? Because this group of people, I know in Australia, they all think they're completely invincible, that they will never have a health issue. That's part of being a teenager, that you don't believe these bad things will happen to you. So I think this is a really interesting project. I think that you're quite right in that you need to have the positive incentives and the peer group inclusion in your solution. I think the local language is really important because that is going to speak directly to people, and also there may be cultural differences that you want to employ as well as language differences in different regions in India. And I think that the age appropriate aspect is really important. So what you might show a 10-year-old in your education about not smoking might be quite different to what you might show a 17-year-old. And that there may be gender issues here as well to take on board. So very, very complex project, but very clearly presented. Well done.
Yes, we already, sir, identified the models with the support of the Gupta sir, and that I actually intend to use it by students to understand what is the lungs and how it gets impacted. So they can visualize themselves by seeing the lungs prepared by themselves. And another model I am trying to develop is with the on larger size for higher level students by actually demonstrating the effect of the tobacco smoke, which contains 7,000 chemicals, out of which 70s are carcinogen. So that we can develop in a more precise way. So there will be a 2 level. That is for small kids, some different model making, and for adults, there will be a higher level, little complex models.
Yes, so this will be like a education package, right? It's not just an app. It's actually education where you might go out to the schools or go to community groups and deliver this information, right? Yeah, right. It's really interesting. I really like this project. I'm very impressed with the depth of thinking here. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so next team is reducing vaccine wastage in India, Abhishek Prasad and Shirish.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, yes, you're audible. Go ahead.
So good morning, everyone. Present over the respective professors and the Srishti team. I myself, Shirish Shekhar Jha, and I have created a small project over reducing vaccine wastage in India along with Abhishek Prasad. So our problem statement is, after reading many news articles and research papers, we found that in urban and rural areas, by both educated and non-educated people, the vaccine is getting wasted in India. Even we know that there is a shortage of it. So then we went on to do the brainstorming and went to find out what are the reasons for the vaccine wastage. There were majorly 4 reasons: manufacturing fault, which involved the breaking of vials during manufacturing, and the delimation of the walls of the vial, which resulted in shedding of the walls of vial inside the vaccine, making it useless. Second was lack of proper transportation. While unloading and loading, the vaccine was getting destroyed, hence wasting it. Third and the most major reason was the people not going to the vaccine centers. Although people were booking the slots through CoWIN app, through CoWIN website and Arogya Setu app, but they were not able to go to the vaccine center, for which there were many different reasons. They have been listed further in the slides. Fourth can be added as a subpart of the point listed in point 3, which states that incomplete use of nominal number of doses in multi-dose vials. So then we went on to categorize that what was the major problem which was creating a vaccine wastage in India. Then we found that people not going to vaccine center was the most major reason. And in concluding both the rural and urban areas, we found that there were few major causes for it. First was lack of awareness and education about vaccine. Second was poor medical facilities and fear among people. Third was due to unavoidable circumstances, they are not able to go. Although they book slots, but they were not able to go. For example, someone has a meeting and is booked slot, he was not able to go. And the fourth was no motivation for taking vaccines, especially in the rural areas. People were not motivated to go and take vaccines. Fifth was lack of vaccination drives in rural areas. So then we created man-mass and we had a group team discussion and find out the possible solutions for the major cause. Among this, there were many solutions possible, but the 2 major solutions were developing a feature for CoWIN application that allows users to select and cancel their slots at their own will. Second was creating an educational animated video that educates people in rural areas
about what is a vaccine, its pros and cons, and its side effects. And third was the redesigning of vials. Fourth was carrying out vaccine drives along with the NGOs that went home to home and helped in carrying out the vaccination drives. And last was the gamifying the process. For example, although people were not motivated, although government was giving some e-certificates, but we thought that some giving a letter of acknowledgement would make people feel special and they might go and take vaccines. So now scaling up the solution, we finalized 2 solutions after creating a survey. First was CoWIN app development, analogous to what is in India's railway system booking. If a person books a seat, he gets a confirmed seat message, and there are some people kept in waiting list for the time being. If someone cancels the confirmed seats cancels the confirmed seats, they might get a seat. So we tried to inculcate that idea into our idea. And so we're trying to develop an app that allows users to book as well as cancel their vaccine slots. And how can we do that? Before the vaccination slot, majorly 2 hours before, an app will provide a reminder call to all the users and will ask them to either press 1 for a confirmation of the slot or press 2 for cancellation of the slot. And depending upon what their input is, we can then adjust the slots. Second was educating people. Now we developed an animated video that with the help of our renowned doctor who is pursuing currently MBBS, who has done her MBBS and is currently pursuing MD at the DMCH, Darbhanga Medical College and Hospital. We went on to a survey with our family members and our peer groups to find out what were the major questions they had regarding vaccines. So after conducting survey, we found that most of the people were very much interested in Hindi language only. So we tried to develop a video in Hindi language only. And the first prototype of our video answers only the questions. Now this is a CoWIN app flowchart which describes how the process will go and how will the slot allotment process or slot cancellation process will go. So then now, since we are developing the app, we are not already ready with the algorithm, but we have tried to find out what can be the user interface for it. And it will look something like this. Then although all the users know what is going at the user side, then we try to inculcate what will be going at the server side, where after the automated call, if someone press 1, a booking will be confirmed and the database will be updated. If someone presses 2 and cancels the slot, then an automated call to the person who is in the waiting list will get, and depending upon his input or output, next call will be given to some other person in the waiting list or so. This is an educational video. Since the video is large, I am restricting myself to show it. Is that okay?
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Okay. Then after we finalized the solution, then we went on to find out which was the most efficient solution. So we created a survey, a Google form. We regulated the Google form in our peer groups among our college students and also among our relative members. And then we found that most of the people were very happy with the educational video and they were more motivated to go for the vaccine after seeing the educational video. Although app is a more efficient way of app is a solution that can make the vaccination process more efficient, but app is more focused for the urban area, while educational video can focus on both rural and urban areas. Then next is a summary. There are a number of cases vaccine getting wasted in India with different root causes. After brainstorming, we find solutions. First solution was making mobile application that makes the vaccination process more efficient. Second was making an education video which brings behavior, psychological and social impact. Last was the survey conducted using the Google Forms that suggested that people were more in favor for the second solution. Here are some sources for a literature review and references.
Yeah. Okay, Abhishek and Shirish, I think
thanks.
You picked up a very, very important aspect in the country of vaccine wastage. So I think you print all the 4 points very nicely, and of course you came up with the app and the video. So I also really appreciate the point of your doing survey with the people. We would like to know some qualitative inputs from the survey. What exactly happened with the educational video? What were the reactions, and were they on the border and they decided to go for the vaccination, or people who were not completely against vaccination were motivated to go for vaccination? What were your results?
Sir, for example, in my home, my grandmother was not going to take vaccine, So as I discussed about the doctor, she helped us make the video and answers the questions. After getting the doubts clear, she went on to get her vaccine.
Oh, that's very nice. So basically, you're clearing, you've taken some quick doubts in which people's mind, whatever doubts they have, and you answered,
Yes.
FAQs, and they're solving that.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Oh, very good. Yeah.
Sir,
Excellent.
hello, sir.
Tell me.
Sir, I also find one problem that those who are suffering from allergies, they are not also ready to take the vaccine. So there is, how do I convince them to go and take the vaccine? Always saying I'm suffering from allergy. So if I take the vaccine, so I will be get died.
There are a lot of, you're right, there are a lot of unnecessary taboos and people's
Yes, sir.
apprehensions which have to be broken. It's a very good idea. So I was just wondering, how did you pick up what to tell in your educational video? Where did that information come from?
So we did as we said that we circulate a Google form, but with that enlisted what are the questions you're about to use yourself regarding the vaccines.
Use the Google form to build your educational video.
Yes, sir.
Oh, very good. Excellent. Yeah. Okay. All the best.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so last team is Keep Writing by Raj Ghosh Kumar.
Is my screen visible to all?
Yes, yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. So here I'm introducing about Keep Writing. It is a vending machine to collect used pens and reward students for each pen submission. So let's look into it. So the pens have gone into a various biggest revolution that we have seen, from wooden to fur to the ink pens, and now we are using plastic pens. And the problem about the plastic pens, it's as cheap as 5 rupees, 2 rupees, 3 rupees, and most of them are ending up in our dustbin and then to the landfills. So a huge amount of production of pens is leading to another major problem in our country, not in our country, but in the world as well. So you can see the major problem that it is producing. Around 27 lakh pens are produced in India per day, and most of them are resulting into those dustbins. And in USA, 1600 to 2400 million pieces of plastic pens are produced, and 91% of them are not recycled. So this is a very major problem. And another problem related to Indian context is we consider anything that is study material as a symbol of goddess Mata Saraswati. So pens are also considered that. So as a result, we don't want to keep to throw the pens in the dustbin with other materials. So we end up keeping them these pens with ourselves, and our cardboard boxes gets filled up. So we have understood the current cycle, how the pens are distributed and how the pens are used, and then they are just ending in the dustbin. So there is no proper channel of recycling it particularly. So what is our proposition is? Our proposition is, this is a prototype of our vending machine. We want to make a vending machine that is to be placed in every school, where students just enter their plastic pen in this slot, and they get chocolates in return from this slot. Any foreign materials like stones or wood or paper would be automatically rejected over here. It is a very low cost mechanism. If I will tell, this is a very low cost. We have made the slots like that. It identifies the pen with the help of a metal sensor. The nip of the pen is identified with a metal sensor. And nowadays students are forgetting to write, and this initiative will definitely motivate the schools to have this vending machine in their school's place, and it would be a very good point of attraction for the school students. For every pen drop, the student will receive 2 chocolates. The point of keeping 2 chocolates over here is that the student, 1 chocolate for them and 1 chocolate to share it amongst their peers. So that gets them into a sharing habit as well. So this is the functional prototype. Pen is entered, and 2 chocolates are spherical chocolates are coming out of it. So this is the functional prototype. And if I get into the design aspects, so this is the design part. Now you can see this is the opening box. Whenever if we are hiring a person to distribute the chocolates among the schools in the city, he just can go there and open the lock and place the chocolates over there. And similarly, as in the post box model, but we have seen that we can open this, whatever the pens are collected for easier removal of pens, we can just open it from the downwards, all the pens will be getting outwards. So that is the thing. And again, so that was our the prototype, and here you can see the fully functional prototype. Everything is painted. The color we will be changing afterwards. You can see how the chocolates are coming. So the LEDs indicate the position and all. Now coming to the so now how the process looks right now is it is getting all the process is same. The students is using the pen, but now we have added this feature in the schools where they can submit the pens and receive chocolates, and all the pens are collected from each school in the city, and they are returned back to the respective industry which is required. Economic sustainability is we can have collaboration under corporate social responsibilities from the pen companies as they are producing a major impact on the environment. So we can receive funds from them, and we can lower down the price of this machine. Although it costs around just 1,500 to 2,000 rupees currently, it depends upon the outer material that we are using. But we can further lower down the price, and we can make it free for the schools who cannot afford that through CSR funds. Also, we can collaborate with chocolate companies to provide chocolates, or even if the revenue model we can add is we can place the ads of the pen companies and generate revenue out of it. The revenue is used to buy chocolates and keep updated this thing. So hence it is a self-sustaining model. In addition to the social aspects, it is also self-sustaining in nature. It can run a full-fledged business out of it. So this is there was a guy, the pen guy. He's a innovator. He uses pens to decorate things. So he used these pens to recycle. He couldn't recycle it, so he pasted all these pens on his Mercedes, and we got Mercedes pens. So anyways, we needed a better solution than Mercedes pens at least. So this is the thing. And the major aspect to it is Saraswati Mata in Indian context, and how this students are forgetting to write more, and this will definitely motivate them to write again and again. Thank you.
Thank you, Rakush. I particularly like the joke at the end. Mercedes pens is very good. I think this is a really interesting project because I can see that you said there's some cultural barriers to recycling the pens. So how do you think your machine overcomes that?
Since, ma'am, in Indian dustbins, we don't. I have a lot of collection of pens right from class 6th, 7th in one of the cardboard. I don't throw that pen in the dustbin because it is considered very not right enough in our culture, because we consider that as Saraswati Mata. So I have talked with a lot of people. They always keep their pens and they collectively throw it in somewhere. So since our box is collecting all those pens, and it depends upon the city. If the city has a recycling unit, then we will definitely take all the pens, like 500 schools are there. We will collect the pens and we will deposit it to a particular location. In 1 month, we can have the collection system. That is also, we have included a GSM model, which can give us alert when the chocolates are coming to end. And we will appoint one guy for a particular city who can collect the pens whenever it is over. And if I could show you how the collection part is made easier, because we have added a slot in the downside, because all the pens will be collected easily, and so
yes,
the pens will be directly going to the recycling units.
I think the other part to your project, which you can think about down the track, is that you have a pen that you can refurbish. So can you replace some of the parts of the pen and still use still use the outside of it, and maybe you replace the internals. So this is a nice way of collecting those parts and then taking a remanufacture type approach, so that you're not actually having to put all the energy into recycling the plastic, that you could reuse some of these pens, which is a little bit like the old-fashioned ink pen that you showed at the beginning of your presentation. So having some ability to refurbish them will reduce waste as well. I really like the fact that you thought about the incentives. So the chocolates, and the fact that you get 2 chocolates to share with a friend means that you have this kind of fun aspect to this whole interaction with this machine. So I think it's a really interesting project. You could even start without the machine at all and work with the school and the teachers to collect the pens and give out the chocolates, just to see how that might work, even without the machine. And then the machine is the stage 2 implementation of your project. So really interesting. And I think you've brought in lots aspects to this project that make it really valuable. So well done in a very short time to make a prototype as well. Very impressed.
Thank you. Thank you.
Rajkush, I would like to
Thank
second
you.
on that. Very good, making a prototype and showing it and having that concern to take the pens there is very, very good. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
I think you were the last presentation, I think. No, Professor Anil
Yes,
Gupta?
yes.
Yes, it was last. So we would like to have your overall comments.
Yeah, so Professor
And,
Anil Gupta, we can see the amount of hard work you have put in to get the boys to this level.
Some of them must be cursing me. Some of them must be cursing me for being very critical at times. But I think what has come in the end is very focused, sharply focused, and well ironed out ideas, most of them. So I think on the whole, the effort has been very appreciable. But I would like to hear from you.
Yeah, Kate.
From me. Wow. I think that because I haven't seen these projects before, I need to commend everybody on how clearly you explained the problem. And I know you only had 5 slides, and there is a real skill in identifying what was the most important part of the problem and what was the most important part of the solution. And I think most of the teams and individuals did that. I think there was just some where the drawings were a little harder to see, but you're not all able to be incredible designers and sketchers. And I think that everybody used really good ways to communicate their ideas. I just think, and this is my preference, is that going back to the human side of it is to just highlight the impact on the user, the positive social impacts that you hope to come from your outcomes, and not to forget that there are people that need to interact with all of these devices, and bringing the story full circle from the problem that you found and how you might improve that end user's life, I think, is really been the objective of many of the summer schools. And I think you need to bring that into just your presentations to think about that end user, because ultimately that's why you're doing these projects. But I've been so impressed with the work today. I do love a prototype, but I completely see it's so difficult working at home. But even using some cardboard and some sticky tape to manifest your idea in 3 dimensions really helps you understand your solution from the user's perspective. It's coming back to understanding what it's like to interact with all of those products or even the apps. So fantastic work there, and maybe we'll see some patents from this, Anil. It might be nice.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm sure this is a great feedback for all of them who have put a lot of effort. Chaku?
So it's the same here. So I was pleasantly surprised with the level of mock-up models the student made, the exploratory models they made, and I was very happy. In fact, Kate, I had also taken a class for them, on in one of the sessions. So I'm very glad that some of them used whatever was in the class, and where we talked about how it's important to be with the problem, and take it as your own cause. So I like it very much, where the students were very involved. and and they didn't leave any stone unturned to see how they can sort of bring it out for the benefit of the problem they at hand, which was very, very commendable. People made apps, they went to making mock-ups, and then of course the last one with a working prototype, which is like really commendable in the way all the students went about doing things. But this collective learning process.
I think
yeah, please, Kate. Yeah.
I was going to say the other thing that came through in all of the presentations was the passion and the enthusiasm for the problem and for the solution. And I think that comes from teamwork. And I think even if you worked individually on your project, you saw what other people were doing, and that there's a certain energy that you don't get just working by yourself. So in this environment, even though it's online, sharing that passion and energy is really important as well.
And then and in the end, when they've seen each other's presentations today, that also will be a great learning for each other. And I'm sure this summer school will really help them in the future, to come up with good designs and take things forward. So Professor Anil Gupta, again, 3 cheers to your team of hard work all this month to take the students from where they were and to what they are today. It's really, really commendable, and it's a
yes, as a matter of fact, as you mentioned, Madhusudan mentioned, Kate mentioned, everybody mentioned who came to talk to, Amaresh mentioned, that don't get to the solution too early. Yeah. And I think it was difficult for them to begin with because their mind wanted to right away offer a solution.
Yeah.
But it required effort. And I think sometimes they were not liking it. But on the whole, many of them reworked their thoughts and have sharpened their ideas. And the ideas have become more focused as the time passed by. So ability to contradict themselves and go to one focus direction rather than multiple directions was something that they have all achieved to some extent, I would say. And we consider this as a great investment of Honeybee Network in their ethos. So passion and compassion both have been evident in their work. And your class and your video was very, very useful to them. Kate's class was useful. Amaresh Chakrabarti came and talked to them. Madhusudan Rao came to talk to them. So the best teachers are possible around the world were there. Shashank Mehta came from NID. Another colleague came from NID. So there were colleagues from all over, and so who have, I'm sure, given them so many ideas that they will also take some time to absorb. But I appreciate all of this effort, and now they have to write reports of their project because a lot of things, they must be written up because people will read the report. They won't be able to listen to them all the time. So we would hope that they will all prepare their report by tomorrow if possible. Or if you need more time, please tell us how much time do you need. Tomorrow we are going to have the validity function when we will close the school. But this will be only a closure for the sake of technical requirement that everything which begins must end. But in some sense, our relationship will continue. And as both the faculty members have mentioned, they would like to see whenever possible, you make real prototypes, real experiments, real behavioral change, real results, because that would be a great reward to all of us who have put in whatever effort that we could, because we want to see the change in the society. And all of you are going to bring about that change. And you are so committed to the cause that you have chosen. As Jaku just mentioned, that you have really internalized that cause. There was nobody who was talking in an indifferent tone or a tone as if it was just chore to be done. I think you were all committed to your ideas. It came out very clearly, isn't it, Jaku?
Yeah, very, very true. Yeah.
So thank you so much for taking so much time out, Kate and both of you. You have spent almost 3 hours, more than 3 hours with them.
So I'm so glad I made a new friend. Now, I met Kate today, so we'll keep in touch, Kate. Yeah.
Yes.
That would be nice.
Yes, Kate, she, Professor Chakrabarti has set up a design center at IIT Bombay. You are now at Hyderabad. Have you joined the IIT?
No, I'm just here for 2 months at the IIT Hyderabad, school. I'll be going back to IIT Bombay, the Innovation Center. Yeah.
Oh, you're going back in July or something?
Yeah, in September end, by September.
September end. Okay. So
yes,
that's
we
wonderful.
should keep in touch now that we've met. So,
I'll connect you both. I'll
yeah,
connect you both.
terrific.
I'll connect you both.
Thank you.
Yes.
That would be wonderful, Anil. Thank
Yes,
you.
I will do that.
And I wanted to say thank you to the whole team and Tristi and yourself and all of the students for sharing all of your work and making it possible for me to be involved.
Denu, Chetan, all of you can come on the screen.
Yeah, you can have a
which has been working hard. Please come on the screen.
Maybe all of you can switch on your videos so we can take a snap.
Please switch on your videos. Yes.
That's nice to see all of you.
Switch on your videos. Switch on your videos.
Ali Yukta, Rishabh, Jayend, Sirish.
Please switch on your videos.
Great to see everyone.
Yeah. It'll be quite nice. Yeah.
Please switch on your videos.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
युक्ता, दैता, आप लोग क्यों नहीं खोल रहे हैं अपना वीडियो, क्यों नहीं ला रहे? कृपाली, क्या बात है?
Praveen.
कृपाली, गुस्सा हो?
No, sir. No, sir.
Not at all. युक्ता, हाँ, आ जाओ, please. Yukta also, Praveen also, and we'll take two. Will it come in the one screen?
Yeah, they all come in one screen, sir.
Yes, all in one screen. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yukta is, I don't know, she's not there. Yukta is not there. Is there there's no need an extra screen, so we have got all of wonderful. God bless, and we will meet tomorrow. All the students in the valedictory function. We would also like to have your feedback. So if there are any areas where you feel we need to improve, please, both in writing and also, if possible, through a metaphor, convey your feelings through a metaphor. It could be a cartoon, it could be a poem, it could be a story, it could be a sketch. But metaphors last longer than the digital messages, because metaphors are embedded in, the meanings are embedded in metaphors which are partial. So we have to decode the metaphor. Therefore, I and you get connected much more powerfully through metaphors than otherwise. So look forward to your feedback tomorrow. And what time are we meeting? Chetan, what time are we meeting tomorrow?
11 o'clock.
11 o'clock. So tomorrow, 11 o'clock, we will have the valedictory function. And we will try, please send the presentations to Professor Sanjay Sarma today. If we can find him, I'll try what time it's convenient for him. All right?
Okay.
Thank you. All the best. Good luck.
Fantastic.
Bye.
Thank you. Good luck, everyone.
Life and remain connected. And we will talk tomorrow
Yes.
again. Thank you.
Stay safe, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. God bless you.
Bye.
Thanks.
Yeah, you too.
भाई स्टूडेंट्स अब रुकेंगे. हेलो. इसमें जो आज जो प्रेजेंटेशन हुआ उसमें जिन लोगों को लगता है कि ये मेरा जो आइडिया था उसको मुझे फाइनल प्रोडक्ट तक पहुंचाना है ना, तो आफ्टर समर स्कूल हमारे साथ मिलके जुड़ के वो काम कर सकता है, और उसके लिए हमारे से जो भी सहयोग होगा हम उनको करेंगे, उनको प्रोग्राम डेवलपमेंट के लिए और उनको आगे मार्केट के लिए. तो आपकी जिनको भी लगता है कि इस प्रोडक्ट में मुझे लगता है पोटेंशियल है और मुझे आगे ले जाना है, तो हम उनको आगे ले जाने के लिए सहयोग करेंगे. ठीक है. आपका कोई सवाल है तो बोल सकते हो, है ना, वरना कल तो डिस्कस करेंगे उस पर.
हाँ सर, एकदम रेडी है सर टू कंटिन्यू विथ यू दिस आइडिया.
सर जैसे मतलब एक्चुअली मेरे साथ जैसे नया प्रोग्राम और कोई चालू हो रहा है, बट मेरे पास अभी टाइम नहीं है. आई मीन मोर ओवर 1-2 महीने बाद टाइम होगा.
ठीक है, नो प्रॉब्लम. उसके बाद तुम चालू करना, लेकिन बता देना कि भाई मैं अभी करने वाला हूँ, है ना. तो हम कांटेक्ट में रहेंगे, और कोई भी आपको प्रोडक्ट डेवलपमेंट करना है उसके लिए आपको रॉ मटेरियल के लिए भी थोड़ा बहुत हम सहयोग कर सकते हैं, है ना. तो सारी व्यवस्था हम देखेंगे कि जिससे आप मेहनत आप करो, मटेरियल का खर्चा हम देते हैं ना. तो ऐसे करके हम व्यवस्था खड़ी करने की पूरी कोशिश करेंगे कि जिससे हमारे विचार केवल प्रेजेंटेशन में नहीं रहे, वो एक प्रोडक्ट बन के मार्केट में आए और लोग उनका इस्तेमाल करें. तो उस पर हम जाने की पूरी कोशिश करेंगे. तभी ये समर स्कूल हमने जो किया है, हमने जो 20 दिन यहाँ पे लगाए, वो हमारा काम पूर्ण हो गया ऐसा मुझे लग रहा है। ठीक है, बहुत सारे
बिल्कुल सर।
बहुत सारी प्रैक्टिसेस करी है। ठीक है, तो कल मिलते हैं, और आपको जो रिपोर्ट बनाना है वो अच्छे से रिपोर्ट बनाओ, क्योंकि आपके नाम के साथ वो रिपोर्ट वेबसाइट पे जाएंगे, तो वहां से आपकी क्वालिटी भी दिखेगी, है ना, कि भाई इसने कैसा रिपोर्ट बनाया है। आपको किसी को बताना तो बता सकते हो कि मेरा रिपोर्ट यहाँ पे आप पढ़ लो एक बार, तो आपको भी विजिबिलिटी मिलेगी, सृष्टि को भी विजिबिलिटी मिलेगी। तो आप जो भी रिपोर्ट बनाते हैं दिल लगा के अच्छे से बनाना है। ठीक है, थैंक यू सो मच, और कल हम मिलते हैं। थैंक यू।
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.